everyone, how's it going? My name is Harmony Nice and today I'm going to be continuing my series all about Wicca called Enchanted Endeavours, and I'll be continuing talking about the Wiccan holidays today, and this episode will be on Ostara, or some call it Spring Equinox, whatever you'd like, because it is coming up very, very soon. But before I continue any further, your girl got sponsored! Oh hell yeah! Before I start this video, I would like to tell you about this amazing app called Pagan and Witches Amino app. So on this app you can do various amounts of things, including quizzes, public chats, polls and posts to help you with your Wiccan, witchcraft or pagan journey. I found the question feature very, very helpful. I asked the community how they like to celebrate Ostara and how they would like to be celebrating it this year, and I actually got a really, really nice response from it, and I got a lot of people liking it and stuff. And there's a lot of different witches and Wiccans and pagans from different backgrounds, and there's loads and loads of different types of Wiccans, witches and pagans, so it's really, really helpful no matter kind of what path you're taking Wicca if you are. For any of you guys just starting out as Wiccans, I think this is the perfect thing to help. They even have tips on starting your Book of Shadows. Lots of people post about different types of spell they do, so if you guys are wondering about anything like that, they also have things like that. And you get a wide range of people posting, so you get like different opinions for all angles. Because anybody, like I said, any different background of that can post. So I will link the app at the top of my description down below, and you guys should follow me on there because I will be posting more on there to kind of connect with the community and you guys. It's a really, really awesome community to be a part of. So moving on to today's episode, today I will be discussing when Ostara is if you're in the southern and the northern hemisphere, what Ostara is and why us Wiccans celebrate it, and also how us Wiccans celebrate it, and also how I personally celebrate Ostara. Once again, obviously I have to say that I'm only one Wiccan. Just because I practice the faith this way or celebrate the Sabbats in this way doesn't mean it is right and doesn't mean everybody has to do it. This is just my experience with the Sabbat over the last couple of years that I've been a Wiccan. There's a massive, massive field of different types of Wiccans out there. Not everybody is going to celebrate things the same and do things the same, and that is totally okay. But saying that, thank you guys so much for watching, and I really, really hope you enjoy this video, and I'm just going to hop right in it. So when is Ostara? I thought it'd be a really, really super appropriate time to discuss Ostara since it is coming up very, very soon. You can actually celebrate Ostara in the Northern Hemisphere from the 20th to the 23rd of March, and I personally think it is completely acceptable to celebrate it on any of these days, especially if you have one free, so you can kind of take time to join in with the celebrations of Ostara and stuff like that. But if you can, I think the 21st and the 22nd are the best days to celebrate it. I personally try to celebrate it on these 2 days every year, just because them 2 days pinpoint when the days and the night are at a perfect balance. It's a perfect balance on the Wiccan's Wheel of the Year, which is kind of the main reason we celebrate Ostara in the first place. Once again, if you're in the Southern Hemisphere as opposed to being in the Northern Hemisphere, you do tend to celebrate them on different dates due to seasonal differences. So instead of celebrating Ostara from the 20th to the 23rd of March, you would celebrate it in September from the 20th to the 23rd of September. And when you would be celebrating Ostara here, so the 20th to the 23rd of March, you would be celebrating Mabon now, if you get what I mean, if that makes sense. Once again, I do think this depends on the Wiccan. Some Wiccans in the Southern Hemisphere do choose to follow what Wiccans in the Northern Hemisphere do and just keep celebrating it the same dates as we do. But because it is to do with the seasons and on the Wheel of the Year, I think it makes a lot more sense to celebrate them at different times because obviously it fits in better with their seasons. But once again, I'm not a Wiccan in the Southern Hemisphere, so I'm not 100% sure, but I genuinely do think it just depends on the Wiccan. So what is Ostara and why do us Wiccans celebrate it? Firstly, I'd just quickly like to mention that in my last video when I discussed the Wiccan holidays about Imbolc, I think I personally didn't make it clear enough. Imbolc isn't the start of spring. Ostara is the start of spring. So Imbolc is the preparation for spring and Ostara is the start of spring. As you may have gathered, since I just said, Ostara is the celebration that the winter has now come to an end. And the days and the nights are at the perfect balance now, and spring is here for most of us, or it is coming very, very soon. From this day forward, the light will begin to take over the dark. This is the perfect time to celebrate growth and new life, since it is the beginning of spring. So insects, animals, plants, new life, new birth is all around us. Now the winter has come to an end, we are ready to get stuff done and go full force ahead with everything. This is the time when we kind of stop procrastinating and start to move on with stuff and get stuff done now. It's time for the hopes and the wishes of Imbolc to finally be put into action, and it is the beginning of spring rituals as well that personally for me and some other Wiccans maybe that like to practice rituals outside, that is such an amazing thing. I love doing rituals outside, so if that's your thing, it is a very, very good time to start doing those things outside. So like if you've made any goals or aims for the year that you haven't yet started to complete, I do think this is a really, really good time to begin to start to complete them. It's time to get motivated. So for example, one of my aims for this spring and summer is to create a magical herb garden. So I'm finally putting that into action for this Ostara. And I personally think since the theme of the day is mainly growth, there could not be a better time to do this. And of course, this is the perfect time to honor our spring deities. One of the main ones being the Germanic goddess Ostara, which is obviously where the name comes from. Ostara is the German goddess of fertility and rebirth and enchantment and innocence as well. The day of Ostara, she is reborn and the world finally becomes at this perfect balance again, and light will begin to take over from now on. And also this is a great time to worship your other deities that are spring deities, fertility deities, and also ones that represent growth as well, like Freya, the Norse goddess, and also like Orosis, the Egyptian goddess too, and also obviously the Pan god. So yeah. So how do Wiccans and how do I personally celebrate Ostara? So like most Sabbats, there is tons of activities and ways that you can celebrate this Sabbat. I'm going to personally be speaking about the ones that I've experienced and the ones that I know about, even though there is loads and loads of other stuff that you can do as well. Like I said, I feel like Ostara is the time to get things done. All the planning and all the waiting and all the procrastination is finally over. Any goals that you want to complete or aim for, get started on them or get them done at this time of the year. I could not think of a better time of the year to begin to do stuff like that. And I personally feel like the light energies and the kind of all the new birth and the new growth all around us definitely gives me a massive motivation to get stuff done around this time of year. Like I've noticed outside there's a lot more like flowers growing and stuff, and that just makes me motivated in itself, and also a bit more warmth, which again makes me motivated as well. And of course for every Sabbath there is lots of activities, crystals, herbs, incense and flowers, spells and rituals that are relevant to this Sabbath. Because the theme of the day is growth and growing, this is an amazing time to start your magical herb garden, and this is something that I will be doing this year. For the past couple of years around this time of year I've started planting stuff in my magical herb garden, but this year I'm actually making a new one. So instead of just planting stuff in my old one like I usually would, I'm actually making a whole new magical herb garden and planting some stuff in there. I've heard that some Wiccans do choose to do their magical herb garden on May Day, just because sometimes it's warmer on that date than it is now, and obviously in a lot of places it's still pretty cold at the minute. But for me, because actually the weather seems quite okay, I think it is the perfect time to do this. So, and I have done it for the last couple of years and I've never ever had a problem with it, and everything's blossomed really, really well. In the past, fresh herbs that are kind of related to this Ostara have been amazing to plant, and I feel like they've all worked out really, really well. Herbs like thyme, tarragon, lemon balm and honeysuckle have definitely been the most successful ones for me. I would really, really like to do a magical herb garden video once it is done, so if that's something you guys think you'd be interested in, I'd like to do an Enchanted Endeavours episode, so let me know down below if you think that would be good. So if you're deciding that it's still too cold to plant stuff in your magical herb garden on this day, you can always do that on May Day. So instead, around this time, you can start to plan what herbs and what flowers you'd like to grow there. And obviously there's a lot of crystals that you can carry around and place in your altar that are really, really great for this time. Crystals like clear quartz crystal, agate, Amazonite and also rose quartz and garnet are all very, very good and relevant to this Sabbath. Pretty much all of these, especially clear quartz crystal, agate and Amazonite, all have amazing energy balancing or enhancing abilities to them. They also have psychic insight and courage properties too, so I definitely think carrying around these crystals at this time definitely helps you motivate you, because they are all motivational stones. I do definitely think these specific stones do help you strive on a little bit more and just kind of crack on with stuff, and I do actually genuinely think they make a massive difference. Sometimes I sleep with them under my pillow as well this time of year. The one that I found most effective though, and that is probably the most common crystal like ever, is the clear quartz crystal, because when it comes to energy boosting and balancing properties, it's just perfect. But also rose quartz is an amazing one too. It's so, so good for balancing energies and getting rid of negative energy as well, and because it's a love stone, it kind of ties in with the fertility part of Ostara as well, so that's also another positive. And of course my favourite part is there's loads and loads of fun ways to decorate your altar around this time of year, and actually this is my favourite time of the year to decorate my altar. I feel like green is an extremely relevant colour to this specific Sabbath. Also, spring are colours like purple and yellow as well. In my last Wiccan Holidays video about in bulk, I discussed that you put a white and a green candle at your altar to represent the winter going into the spring. So now we're celebrating Ostara and the spring is here. We put green candles at our altar to, like I said, represent the kind of green that is coming, the new life that is here, and blah, 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 blah. Also, I've heard that it's tradition to wear green around this time of year. I personally don't, but I think I will this year. Or I know that a lot of people tie purple, green, or yellow ribbons to them or at their altar as well, just to kind of honour the Sabbath a little bit more and continue with the celebration that spring is now here. And for the rest of your altar, incenses like jasmine, rose, strawberry, pretty much any fresh smelling scent is really, really good to burn there. My favourite at the minute is jasmine. I love jasmine. I think I may have mentioned this before. And I also have like this floral white tea incense, which is so freaking good. Also, you can choose to burn fresh herbs as well at your cauldron. And as for some more decorations, you can either decorate your altar with some fake spring flowers or real spring flowers. A couple of like main spring flowers are things like daffodils, snowdrops, or narcissus. And also one of the favourite things that I've heard about Wiccans doing at their altar, which I'm actually going to try for the first time this year, they put a pot full of soil and place a seed in the soil and take care of it. And we can put charms on these plant pots, and as they grow, and the things that we hope and that we wish for in spring and summer to come, if the plant grows successfully, then the hopes and the wishes will come true, and if we keep taking care of it, it will come true and stuff like that. I think that's a really, really lovely thing to do, and I think it's a really, really nice little ritual to do as well. I'll be doing that as well as starting my magical herb garden, and both of them I think fits in with the perfect theme of the day. And I also think this is the best time of the year to start to reconnect with plant energies and nature as well, and a lot of people do this with meditation, either rituals, or even just studying a certain plant and learning about it a little bit more. I think this is an amazing time to do it, and I do love doing this a lot around this time of year. And of course, my favourite part, there are tons of spells and activities that you can partake in on this day. So the most important part of the day that I'm starting with is obviously the food that is relevant to this day. So for those of you that eat eggs, eggs are definitely a traditional thing to eat on this day. But of course, if you're vegan or just don't like eating eggs, you can make either vegan chocolate eggs or you can make regular chocolate eggs. And if you guys obviously aren't already aware, the egg is a massive symbol of Ostara. It represents new growth and the full potential now that the spring is here. And once again, cream and milk is another traditional thing to eat on this day. And if you don't drink or eat cream and milk, there's lots and lots of soya and almond alternatives to these things that you can eat and consume. And things like fresh salads and nuts, and definitely seeds like pumpkin seeds and sunflower seeds and stuff like that, are also very, very relevant to this day. Again, they tie in with the kind of new life and growth theme. And also, hot cross buns are another thing that we can eat around this time of year. If you guys weren't actually aware already, Ostara was taken and appropriated for Christianity beliefs. So Easter is Ostara. They kind of did the same thing like they did with Yule and Christmas. They took it from the pagan religion and made it into theirs. So if you can kind of see like a lot of things that you would do at Easter that are kind of relevant to this Sabbath. And also, a fun fact, the cross on hot cross buns was not actually put on the hot cross bun to be a Christianity thing. It was actually originally a Celtic cross. By the way, no shade to Christianity or you're a Christian and stuff like that. No shade at all. I literally was just saying that is how it was. And now for the best part, which is spells and activities. Once again, the theme of the day is growth, so eggs are a massive symbol of it. It was actually tradition to decorate eggs in bright colours, and you can paint them and then put them in your altar. And some people will even put like hope charms for aspects of their lives they would like to change and improve, and then after that they would eat the egg. But once again, if you don't feel comfortable buying eggs or eating eggs, or you don't like to, that's totally fine. You can make paper mache eggs and paint them so you can put them in your altar to decorate it a little bit more. But if you would like to do a food charm on Ostara, I personally have for the last 2 years, and I will continue doing this year because I love doing it, I make Ostara bread, which is like the sweetest, most delicious bread ever. But yeah, it's sweet, it's lovely, it's dairy free. I might actually even put the recipe on Instagram soon. But you can put an Ostara charm on this bread as you're making it and then serve it to the people that you love and you would like to give hope and courage and motivation now that the spring and the summer is coming and here. And some people actually still go on egg hunts, which is obviously something you could do if you're Wiccan and you have children, or it's definitely not just for children as well. You can do it within your coven if you have multiple people to go on egg hunts with and stuff like that. And some choose to make Ostara reefs around this time of year, which is basically taking the last of like the dead straw plants, whatever you would like from winter, and making it into a wreath, and then decorating it with the spring flowers, and once again also decorating it with green and purple and yellow ribbons as well. I did this last year, not the year before, but I did this last year, and I will be doing it this year again. And a lot of people hang this wreath either above or they place it in their altar, and we can believe that it will help our rituals and our hope charms and our courage charms and whatever we choose to do around this time of year a little bit more. Career spells, love spells and peace spells are commonly performed around this time of year as well, and since a lot of people kind of see it as the time to begin to get stuff done, this is no surprise that this is very, very common spells to perform at this time. Some people even create amulets out of precious stones or regular stones, and again, purple, green or yellow ribbon, and they would put luck or hope charms on them and then give them to people they love, or if they think they would need one themselves, they do a slightly different charm or ritual and then they can wear it themselves for luck and hope during the spring and the summer to come. The way I will be spending Ostara this year will be definitely motivated and busy, but saying that, I do actually have a lot going on around that time. My best friend's actually leaving for quite a while, so I will be spending this Ostara alone, whereas intentionally, unintentionally, we kind of always go out for a meal around each Sabbath. But I will definitely be spending it buying and planting some seeds in my magical herb garden. And also, I think I've mentioned before that I have a list of goals and aims to complete this year. I would pick a couple and then begin to get them done. And of course, I will be baking my Ostara bread because this is really, really delicious and yum. And I'm also going to be decorating my altars, and I might even take part in some career and hope spells for the spring and the summer coming. And I'm actually going to make an Ostara amulet for my friend Marina before she goes, because I would like to wish her luck with her travels, because she is going away for 4 months and I'm gonna cry every single day. But I would like to give her all the luck and all the motivation with her travels, so I feel like that would be a nice thing to do. And of course, I would be continuing my tradition of going on an early morning walk that day, and I will definitely be taking this time to reconnect with nature and plant energies and stuff. And I tend to do this by meditation and studying plants. I'm not so into the rituals to reconnect back with nature, and in general just having a productive day, taking part in some Ostara rituals, and just kind of getting into the swing of being motivated and just making sure all the procrastination and stuff like that is over, and just really, really look forward and feel motivated for what the spring and the summer has to offer. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I really, really hope you enjoyed this video all about Ostara. Please leave a comment down below letting me know what Ostara activities you will be partaking in and what you'll be doing this Ostara, because I want to know and I'm really interested and I'm really, really excited for it, and I hope you guys are too, and I will see you in my next video. Bye guys. Ostara.